Angela here, and welcome to Let's Walk London. I am in New Malden, southwest London. So this is the Groves area, which was one of the first areas to be built when New Malden started to grow during the 19th century. And if you know my channel well, you will know that many of these areas of London grew along with the railway lines, and New Malden was no exception. So if we look in that direction, we have Traps Lane, and that heads to the Coombe area, and then Kingston. If we took a bit of a left, we would find Kingston upon Thames. So Traps Lane is up there, supposedly named after a Mrs. Traps. And we've just been along Chestnut Grove, and we're looking straight ahead towards New Malden High Street. Just going to adjust the Osmo a sec. You know the drill by now. I film a bit and decide that it's not quite in the right position. So New Malden is a suburb of southwest London. And why did I decide to film here? It's because I was watching the third series of Killing Eve. I don't know if any of you watched Killing Eve. But in the very opening episode, we find Sandra Oh on New Malden High Street. And I thought, that's a good idea. Why don't I film New Malden High Street? So no big spoilers coming for Killing Eve if you happen to watch it. But she appears to be working in a Korean restaurant because New Malden is home to the biggest Korean population in Europe. People from South and North Korea live here, much smaller North Korean population for obvious reasons than Southern. There's a long history of a Korean population in New Malden, which we'll get to. So we're approaching the station. You can just about make out the railway bridge in the distance and the two towers. I think they're called the CI Tower and the Apex Tower. And after the New Malden station was built in around 1849, I think, building work started at this end, and the Groves sort of became popular for 2 and 3 bedroom houses, as you can see, mostly Victorian. This area is about 9.4 miles from Charing Cross, and it is in travel card zone 4. Now there have been settlements here for hundreds upon hundreds of years. Both Malden and Coombe appear in the Domesday Book of 1086, but there were settlements here before that. In the Domesday Book they appear as Malden and Coombe. And this area used to be called the Maldens, because there's Old Malden and now we've got New Malden. So here's New Malden station. I'm 23 minutes, I think, into London. I'm just going to cross here. Here we've got the Cut, which is a path all the way down to where I used to live. And somebody did ask if I'd make a video about the Cut, walking along there. I'll show you a bit of it. They want to know, is it safe and things like that. I don't know. I walked there for many years myself, day and night, and never had any trouble. That's not to say there wouldn't be. There goes a train. That sounds like a faster train, not a stopping train. So I think New Malden, the trains stop about every 15 minutes. I think we have a train to New Malden. It's on the Kingston line. So I'm going to show you a few things here. If you're a fan of Killing Eve, I'm going to show you a few filming spots. So over here in front of the CI Tower we have Bar Malden, where they did some filming for Killing Eve season 3. They filmed Barcelona, Romania and New Malden. There's the CI Tower. Just put it up, it's very bright with the sunshine. There we go. And here we have the Apex Tower, Tesco Express. Now, talking of filming locations, let me just show you here, while we take a quick look again at New Malden Station. As I said, travel zone 4. So here is Hahn Restaurant, where we actually see Sandra Oh's character come outside. You actually see the Tesco Express to the back version of the shot. So this is Apex Tower, again another massive building. Very popular with companies. And also very popular with redevelopers who quite often want to do some redevelopment, turn it into this and that. Always gets local opposition. So there's a church, St John the Baptist Church in Old Malden, dates back to Saxon times. And actually Malden is Old English for male and duna, which come together to mean the cross on the hill. So here we are, backward shot, see Eye Tower, Bar Malden, New Malden Railway Station, Apex Tower. We're going to head this way, along New Malden High Street. In this area, the Duke of Cambridge used to own a lot of land. And so you sort of tend to come across quite a lot of pubs with Cambridge as part of the name, Duke of Cambridge, that type of thing. And road names as well. And there's a Cambridge estate, big estate, tower blocks right on the edge of Kingston. There is Waitrose and the War Memorial. There was a air raid during the Second World War here as people were getting off the train. Quite a few people died. There's Seoul Plaza, and there is a social distancing queue to get into Waitrose. Now, New Malden train station has had various different names. It's been Malden and Coombe, Coombe and Malden. So Coombe is behind us. It's got some very big, nice roads and big houses, massive plots, things like that. So for a while it was Malden for Coombe. When it first sort of came into being, as is normal with these areas in the southwestern area of London that were driven through via the railways, it was just farmland, small holdings, less than 1,000 inhabitants, and a great big common, as was the case with Surbiton. See my last video for my walk in Southborough, when we had Surbiton Common or Kingston Common. Well, here we had Norbiton Common. If you've ever watched a TV show called Reginald Perrin, The Rise and Fall of Reginald Perrin, he was based in Norbiton, but he does mention New Malden. Here's the old Tudor Williams, which went out of business in 2019. It's a small sort of department store type of thing with quite a few branches. I think it dates back to the 1930s. Here we are walking along the high street. So New Malden is joined with Kingston upon Thames, along with Surbiton, to form the Royal Borough of Kingston. That was after the London Government Act sort of changed all the boundaries. And here's some roads, sort of scenes that are typical around New Malden, very tree-lined, green leafy roads. Fairly large Victorian houses, moving on to Edwardian. Here's McDonald's, Mr. Let's Walk London used to work in there when he was a student. Now, those interested in the activities of Villanelle and Eve Polastri in Killing Eve may want to look at this spot. So when we first see Sandra Oh in episode 1 season 3, Sandra Oh is actually standing on the pavement just over there and drops all of her supermarket shopping. She's just been to the Korean supermarket and she drops everything all over the pavement right there and gets a bit upset. I think also the shots in her flat were also shot around here somewhere. So back in the day, Nestle used to have their headquarters. Nestle Purina had headquarters here. BAE Systems, Samsung, Northrop Grumman also. Now, getting on to the history of the Korean community here. You may have noticed there's a lot of Korean restaurants, shop signs, things like that. One of the biggest Korean communities in Europe. And sort of is a shopping and cultural centre for the wider Korean population in southwest London. Just going to point you down the high street again. There we go. Distant view. There's lots of theories about how we came to have the biggest Korean population in Europe in New Malden. Some think it was because the original embassy of South Korea was in New Malden before it moved into Westminster. Also, Samsung were here, Racal Avionics. So people have speculated that it was to do with the ambassador and businesses and people working for these businesses setting up home here. Also really good train connections into London and pretty cheap. I think the first Korean association in New Malden was formed in 1958. So 58, fair time ago. And then by 1965 it was developed into a Korean Residents Association with Korean students and Korean residents in the area. And at that time only 200 Koreans were here in the UK. Obviously the population has grown and grown. And some people call this sort of a Korea town, which is nice. Brings a lot of excitement to the area. There's a Korean karaoke place that's really good that we actually want to go to. Some amazing restaurants. Plus shopping. Some nice shopping. So New Malden High Street is actually only 1 kilometre long. And we're nearly at the end of it. So it's quite a short walk, this one. It's also quite hot. It's supposed to be like 24, 25 degrees today. So we're still during lockdown. It's still April 2020. So you can see everybody's trying not to walk too close to each other along the street. Trying to choose the line as they walk through. So as not to be too close to each other. And it's very early, well not very early, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that in the morning. And it's already very warm. And this is the Fountain Roundabout, which used to be a horse drinking area. And there was a pub over there that's now been knocked down. Got an enormous Tesco just over there, which is my excuse for being here to do some shopping. In 2004, Tesco said that particular Tesco sold the most fruit and vegetable in the whole country. Over there, so we have the A3 in that direction. The London starts at London Bridge, the A3, and goes all the way down to Portsmouth. And you can get there in that direction or that direction. If you go that direction, you'll also find B&Q, Currys. I think it's the biggest Currys in London. And that's kind of it. That's New Malden. We've walked up and down the high street. It only took about 10 minutes. So I'll do one last lingering view, apart from there's a great big sign in the way, so maybe not. They're pointing us actually to the Malden Centre, which is the leisure centre. It's got a pool and everything and a gym. There is also around here a dino golf course, so a mini golf course. It's quite good fun actually. Been there quite a few times. The restaurants at the moment, as I've said on other walks, surviving off takeaway. That seems to be, you know, not a bad choice. Keeps them in business and allows us to eat some nice food as well. And that's it really. That's New Malden High Street. I do hope you enjoyed this walk in southwest London / Surrey. And if you're fans of Killing Eve, I hope you enjoyed a few views of where they did some of the filming. Oh, I forgot to do duck. We have duck with us today, the Guildhall Duck. I'm not quite sure what we're going to call the duck yet. Here's the duck. Jodie, that's for you. I know you've been asking, duck, duck, put duck in. And I agree with you, I think duck should always be with us. But anyway, duck made it in today. I remembered duck. Hey there, well I do hope you enjoyed that very quick walk along New Malden High Street. I will see you next time. Bye bye.